This evening on ENN Tonight.
County commissioners decide what's appropriate for your children to read.
The class of 2025 prepares for graduation, and one senior prepares to send them off.
I feel like there's no greater honor to have after my 4 years here.
And after FEMA bailed, Western North Carolina looks to Trump for help.
Those stories and more.
ENN Tonight starts now. Good evening, and thank you for joining us for ENN Tonight. I'm Anjolina Fantaroni.
And I'm Abby Gravely. The Alamance County Commissioners have approved a content warning labeling policy on books in Alamance libraries. This policy will allow patrons to fill out a form to add a parental guidance sticker on books with sensitive material. The patron's request will be reviewed by a board of high-ranking library staff members based on criteria such as sexually explicit content, depictions of substance abuse, suicide, underage drinking, and violence. County Commissioner Pamela Thompson says the policy is about protecting children from content that they are not ready for.
Have to be really smart and not get so caught up and pissed off in politics that we don't think about the effects that some of our decisions have on young people. Young people need to be protected and make their own decisions as they grow when they're ready to.
These stickers will be placed on spines of books that have been flagged and will have yellow stripes and black lettering with the words "Parental Guidance Suggested." Thompson says that the sticker policy came to be due to parents and other guardians showing concern over what their children were reading.
A lawsuit filed against the Alamance Burlington school system has reached the North Carolina Supreme Court. The suit, initially filed in 2022 by a juvenile student's guardian, alleges that a now fired teacher at Broadview Middle School grabbed a then 14-year-old student by the hair and slammed her head into the ground 5 times. The plaintiff argues that the board showed deliberate indifference by allowing the teacher, Danielle Dixon, to teach without a license and continue teaching after the alleged events. It's also argued that the events violated the student's constitutional right to a sound basic education. The North Carolina Court of Appeals dismissed the suit in October 2024. The 2/3 majority argued that the one-time event is not enough cause for a constitutional claim. The Supreme Court has not yet set a date to see this case. Elon Professor of Exercise Science Eric Hall was appointed to the Alamance Burlington Board of Education. At first, there were 16 candidates eyeing the spot, but multiple dropped out, leaving 13 candidates in the run. At the end of this deciding meeting, Hall won with a 4-2 vote. As for the candidates on the board that didn't vote for Hall, he says that he spoke with them and they said that the vote against him was not personal. Hall has 2 children at Elon Elementary and has been living in Alamance County for 25 years. Hall says the progress that ABSS has been making so far is something he would want to continue.
I don't know that I have like one thing that I'm really trying to do. I just think it's continuing to make our public schools as best that they can and make sure that all of our students that are in the ABSS system have great outcomes and are achieving what they need to achieve. I just think that, we're at a state now where, education as a whole is taking a lot of hit and is taking a lot of heat and talk about cutting funding and things like that. And I just want to be an advocate to support our students the best that we can.
Hall says that he's excited but a little nervous when it comes to taking on this new role.
North Carolina Governor Josh Stein has appealed the Federal Emergency Management Agency's decision to end full reimbursement for Hurricane Helene relief efforts. In a letter to President Trump, Assistant Administrator of the Recovery Directorate Melissa Forbes and FEMA Regional Administrator Robert Simon, Stein says that the decision is, quote, already hampering our ongoing recovery efforts. Stein says that, quote, the scale of the problem is immense and we need more time and help to address it. And he estimated that remaining debris removal could cost an additional $1 to $2 billion. Stein's appeal asks for a 6-month extension or 3 months if 6 is not possible.
A recent Elon University poll has released some noteworthy findings regarding respondents' views on President Donald Trump's tariff policy. ENN's Trista Panagakos is in studio to provide an in-depth analysis of these results. Trista, what are we looking at here?
Thanks, Anjolina. During his 2024 presidential campaign, Trump promised to implement widespread tariffs, and he's definitely followed through on that. but he's also been going back and forth a bit, pausing and then unpausing the tariffs, which has caused a lot of economic uncertainty for American consumers and the stock market. On April 2nd, Trump announced a 10% baseline tariff on all foreign countries, but for China, he set a 145% tariff rate. According to a poll by Elon University, 80% of those surveyed expect higher costs due to Trump's trade policy. These responses were split along party lines, with 90% of Democrats worried that higher tariffs would significantly impact their finances, compared to just 41% of Republicans. Recently, Trump mentioned that the economic pain from tariffs may be worth it in the long run. About 43% of respondents weren't on board with that trade-off, while 38% of them were willing to accept higher prices if that meant a better economic development in the future. Director of Elon University poll, Jason Husser, said in an interview with Elon News Network that whether respondents were more willing to accept the short-term pain for long-term gain depended on their party affiliation. Husser said, quote, "When we break that down by party, it cannot be any more opposite. 13% of Democrats said yes, they will take higher prices in the short term for benefit in the long term. 71% of Democrats said no to that. Republicans, exact opposite. 71% said yes, 13% said no. Confidence in the American economy isn't high either. Around 45% of respondents said they felt less confident in the economy since Trump took office. 32% of respondents felt more confident, and 15% said their confidence has been unchanged. Confidence levels were pretty divided politically, with 65% of Republicans feeling more confident compared to only 9% of Democrats and 17% of independents. That's all I have for you right now. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks for that update, Trista. We'll keep an eye out on the next Elon poll being released.
For the second year in a row, Elon has selected its undergraduate speaker through an application process open to the entire senior class. Applicants must be in good standing, have a GPA of at least a 2.75, and have spent 5 or more semesters at Elon. After committee reviews and a senior class vote, the top 3 candidates deliver their speeches to a final selection panel. This year's speaker will be Elon Senior Craig Branstetter. His nomination was announced in an email from Vice President of Student Life John Dooley. Branstetter says a friend last year inspired him to throw his application in the ring, and he says he's excited to give his speech.
So I did write my speech already. I'm not going to tell you fully what it's about, but it is about growth at Elon, how different aspects helped you to grow, and how Elon as a whole fosters that ability as well. I'm so thankful for every single opportunity Elon has given me over my past 4 years. It's allowed me to become the person I am today. I'm so grateful for everything Elon gave for that.
Branstetter's speech will be delivered during undergraduate commencement on May 23rd in Schar Center.
If you've connected to the Wi-Fi on campus recently, you may have noticed a new option, EDU Roam. According to Elon Information Technology, EDU Roam will fully replace Elon U Secure as Elon's primary Wi-Fi network by the end of the fall semester. This move comes after numerous network outages since the start of the second semester. The university says there will be fewer dropped connections on EDU Roam and improved performance. Users will also be able to connect to the network at other participating institutions. The Elon U Connect network will still be used for TVs, gaming consoles, and personal printers. EDU Roam was created in Europe and is co-funded by the European Union. Over 100 territories use the service worldwide.
And after the break, I'll have all the ins and outs on Elon sports.
And coming up, see how some students build relationships behind the screen.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
there's only one thing that will save somebody's life, and that is naloxone nasal spray. Get 911 on the phone, get the emergency responses there on their way.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
Okay.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
Hate is loud, but love is the majority.
From football to softball, it's been an eventful week for Elon Athletics. Our Kathan Gandhi is in studio to keep us updated. Kathan, what's been going on?
Abby, although no Elon players were selected in the 2025 NFL Draft, a few have landed some tryouts for NFL teams. 2 former Elon players have signed undrafted free agent deals with those teams. That includes wide receiver Chandler Brayboy, who recently signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, Brayboy won CAA Special Teams Player of the Year in 2024, and although he's shown some promise as a receiver, his kick return prowess could land him a spot in the NFL. Meanwhile, New York native Rashawn Baker has signed with the New York Giants. The running back averaged 5.4 yards per carry for Elon last year, rushing for over 500 yards in his last 4 games. As these former Elon players move on to the next chapter, Elon softball is still competing for a storybook ending. The Phoenix went 29-18 on the year. That's their best season since 2022. Seniors like Caitlin Wells, who slugged for 15 home runs, and McKenna McCard, who struck out 80 batters, have led Elon to the #2 seed in the CAA tournament. Elon will either play the College of Charleston or Hofstra University this Thursday. And good news for Elon fans, they haven't lost to either team all year. The Phoenix have never won a CAA championship, but having the #2 seed gives them a pretty good chance. As this tournament unfolds, we'll see what's in store. Back to you guys at the desk.
Elon softball will begin its tournament play on May 8th.
Elon's eSport Rocket League team is having one of its best seasons yet, but it didn't start that way. One student went from a casual player to a captain, rebuilding the team from the ground up. ENN's Aaron Martin has the story.
When Elon's sophomore, Ryan Voisard, came to Elon, he wasn't just searching for academics. He was looking for a social community.
And I saw something for esports, and I was like, wait, I love playing video games. I'll try it out.
Now, he's built a team of 9, and this year they won the ZCL tournament, sweeping the competition. Rocket League is a video game that blends soccer with rocket-powered cars. For Voisard, it's personal, a game he first started playing with his dad.
We weren't good at all, but we were having fun every night. And yeah, and then I found out they have a Rocket League team here. I'm like, well, I might as well try out and see what's the worst that happens.
Voisard rebuilt the team this year by recruiting wherever he could, even randomly around campus.
Called me out when I was on my way to the gym and was like, you look like you play video games.
However, freshman Ian Kirk was already doing his research about Elon esports before stepping on campus.
It's the only game I really actively play to compete in. Most other games I play to have fun, but this is something I find myself getting really active and really competitive in.
Now Elon's team is ranked near the top and competes across the East Coast. Voisard has been re-elected as captain, and the team is set on growing even bigger next year.
Here, we're gonna blow everyone out of the water.
Aaron Martin, ENN Tonight.
Voisard said he's already planning for next season and hopes to take Elon's Rocket League team to new heights.
Greensboro's roller derby takes roller skating to a new level as they block, jam, and pivot with teams across the nation. ENN's Monica Jaravicius has more on this thrilling roller derby showdown.
Only 25 minutes away from Elon, Greensboro Roller Derby gives people and students an opportunity to try out a new sport with no prior experience needed.
It doesn't matter, like, if you have ever played a sport. We really welcome everybody, every body type, every gender, every shape. We meet you where you are. There's a spot for everybody on the track.
Associate Director of Communications at Elon University's Catholic Life, Casey Miller, is a blocker for the team going by the name of KCDC. Miller says that joining full contact sports can help students better understand themselves as athletes.
There are a few college leagues, but it is very difficult because it is a year-round sport. And so I think if they can find a way to join something like this, whether it's roller derby or rugby at Elon, finding a sense of community that puts you outside of what's expected.
Greensboro Roller Derby follows all guidelines and standards set by the Women's Flat Track Derby Association. Athletes who are considered by the WFTDA to be part of a marginalized gender, including female, non-binary, and those under the trans umbrella, are welcomed and encouraged to join. Monica Dravicius, ENN Tonight.
The Travel League hones in on gaining the most points against their opponents in just a 30-minute period.
Camping World, known for selling recreational vehicles, more commonly known as RVs, has closed one of its North Carolina stores around 2.5 hours away from Elon, due to a legal battle over a large American flag that flies outside the store. Camping World CEO Marcus Lemonis violated the city of Greenville, North Carolina's flag display ordinance and did not comply with the appropriate size restrictions of 216 square feet, along with the pole itself being no longer than 70 feet. The flag at Camping World in Greensville is around 3,200 square feet with a 130-foot long pole. The flag and the flagpole are almost equivalent to that of a size of a basketball court. Although Lemonis closed the Greenville location, the flags still fly at nearly 200 locations around the United States.
This Wednesday, the Papal Conclave will begin to elect a new pope following Pope Francis's death. The conclave is made up of the Pope's religious advisors, called cardinals. The cardinals come together in Rome's Vatican City to elect a new pope. Elon University's Associate Chaplain for Catholic Life, Father Peter Tremblay, says that the cardinals in this election are not looking at it like they would American politics.
They're asking one question: what does the church need next? How does the church need to continue to grow? How does the church need to continue to serve the world? And what does the next moment look like? Think of the next 10 years, the next 15 years. And then who's that candidate, who's that, usually a cardinal, who can best serve or guide us into what we need next?
While the Papal Conclave electing the next pope doesn't necessarily have a deadline for choosing, it will be announced by white smoke from the Sistine Chapel.
And after the break, I'll have your Phoenix 5-day forecast.
And coming up, a big howdy from this year's Spring Pride.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Even more than I wanted a gold medal, I wanted a heart of gold, like the mentors who were my balance beams refusing to let me down, and the coaches who spoke out to anything out of bounds, heroes who never stood on podiums, but stood up for me. Every shot I made, give the assist to those who since my youth were referees, ready to blow the whistle and end abuse.
I rescued Toast from a shelter in 2011. I love Toast because she's a lazy diva. Toast does whatever she wants, obviously. She's sleeping right now. She's an epic snuggler. She's so comforting. She's so loving. Toast makes me laugh. When I walked into the shelter, I knew right then that she was special.
Kudos, Carl. You've always had a need for speed. Racing anything with wheels, speed reading novels in record time, yelling out 3, 2, 1 at every traffic light. But this time, you've taken your power obsession to the next level. By purchasing this electric vehicle, you've given yourself instant torque that blows your old launch times away, which will keep you saying, "Woo-wee," every time you punch the pedal. Good for your adrenaline, great for the planet. That's the power of EV.
Town of Elon Mayor Emily Sharp has proclaimed May 4th through the 10th as Public Service Recognition Week. The week is an event dedicated to celebrating the individuals who work and serve as federal, state, county, local, tribal, and government employees. Mayor Sharp calls these employees the unsung heroes that do the work that keeps our nation functioning.
It's the people who pick up your trash, keep your water clean. It's the people who keep us safe. It's the people who plan for our future and bring us awesome parks.
An employee appreciation luncheon is planned for the end of this week.
The Elon Fire Department is still waiting to put its new ladder truck into service, months after it was originally expected to arrive. The truck, funded by the town of Elon, was scheduled for delivery around March, but only arrived recently. Soon after, it was returned to the dealership due to minor issues. This new vehicle replaces an 18-year-old ladder truck that was nearing the end of its 20-year-old service life. The town of Elon approved the purchase in 2023 with a price tag exceeding $2 million, funded through an installment loan program. The new truck is designed to be shorter in length, allowing for better access to tighter areas around town, including the Elon University campus. The fire department responds to hundreds of calls annually, many of which are to the university, highlighting the importance of this upgrade.
After a few rainy days, let's see if more showers are in the forecast. Mackenzie?
Thanks, Abby. After a warm weekend, we're looking at a nice week up ahead. Now for your Phoenix 5-day forecast. Tonight we'll have a low of 46 and a breeze. Tomorrow will be mostly sunny with a high of 75. Wednesday we'll see more of the same, including a UV of 9. Thursday will be 79 and partly cloudy with a bit of a breeze. There will be some very cloudy skies on Friday with a high of 73. And finally, Saturday will have a high of 70 and mostly sunny skies. On Tuesday, the UV will reach its peak at around noon with a UV of 10. Then it will plateau until about 2:15 and steadily decline until 7 p.m. A UV of 10 is considered very high, so sunscreen of at least 30 SPF is suggested. Like we saw last week, the UV will be high again this coming weekend. Even though the forecast calls for low 70s and partly sunny, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday have a projected UV of 11, which is considered very extreme, so don't forget sunscreen. Now that we're getting into summer, the humidity is also getting worse, which brings out the mosquitoes, so use bug spray if it helps. That's all. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Mackenzie. We'll be sure to remember our sunscreen.
As the semester winds down, members of the Elon community gathered for an evening of unity and celebration with Coolin on the Commons.
Student Union, in partnership with the National Panhellenic Council, hosted its annual Coolin on the Commons, with this year's theme being Heroes versus Villains.
And we're just out here spreading community, enjoying good food, having fun, and enjoying the last few days of classes.
The event also served as a fundraiser for a local nonprofit, Allied Churches of Alamance County. With step show performances, food trucks, and different activities, Coolin on the Commons aimed to bring together the Elon community.
I think it's really important to kind of support and highlight different communities and different spaces on campus. So especially for people who don't have exposure to the MPHC community outside of events like this, I think it's really important to provide that space.
Olivia Berger, ENN Tonight.
Omicron Iota chapter of Delta Sigma Theta won the fundraiser event.
This weekend was filled with celebration and community, with Spring Pride also taking place. Our Alice Morrissey has more on the event.
Closing out its academic year on a high note, the Gender and LGBTQIA Center hosted its final event, Spring Pride. The event brought in student vendors, interactive games, and a strong show of support from other Elon organizations. For some attendees, it was a chance to find a meaningful sense of connection on campus.
That's what not just college is about, it's what life is about. It's about finding the people around you and learning and benefiting from them.
The event served as a reminder that the GLC is both a resource and a safe space for students on campus.
We're here in general to make sure that students continue to know that we are a resource, like we are not
like stepping back from what we do and like continuing to provide for students.
This year's Spring Pride was Western themed, with cowboy decor adding a playful flair across the event space. Rodriguez says that whenever students can have fun and build community at an event, they consider it a success. Alice Morrissey, ENN Tonight.
The GLC hosts Pride events every semester to continue to support and build connections within the LGBTQIA+ community at Elon. After the break, a look into Burlington City Park's annual celebration.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
In 4 days. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children. She didn't know what to do.
Did you have a good day at school?
She gave them some broth without any bread.
There you go.
And kissed them all soundly.
Night night.
Good night. And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Women are bad with money. That's what the world's been saying for centuries. But now we've got something to say.
Save it. It's time to save ourselves by saving our money.
Until we're no longer 80% more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
Save it. The falsehoods, the feelings of fault.
Then, the funds. Learn how to save for your retirement at wesaysaveit.org.
I've always been told I gotta be strong. Thick skin, tough as nails. But to be everything for everybody, it wears on you. Black don't crack, they say. But it can. We all can. Reach out to a friend if you see them going through it. No matter who you are, being vulnerable is what makes us whole. Learn how to help at seizetheawkward.org.
Burlington City Park welcomed locals to celebrate its 34th annual Carousel Festival. This anniversary featured games, live music, and many rides on the Denzel Carousel. Supervisor of Special Events for Burlington Recreation and Parks, Sean Ashaviria, says he was excited to see the large community turn out for the festival.
People are showing up, they're enjoying themselves, and I just love when I'm walking around going to do something and someone comes stops me and just says, "Thank you so much for doing this, like we're having the best time."
The carousel and other amusement rides at Burlington City Park are open every weekend.
Hundreds of student-grown flowers, herbs, and vegetable sprouts have made their way from the Elon Community Garden to students and community members' homes. Plant adoption was just one of the many activities at the annual Strawberry Festival, which also featured live music and strawberry-themed treats. The festival fell during Collegiate Recovery Week this year, so a table for tie-dyeing t-shirts with the phrase "one day at a time" was a big draw. President of Elon's recovery program, Phoenix Free, and Elon senior James Hemingway says that the phrase can apply to all college students. He says events like the Strawberry Festival help students see the importance of recognizing growth.
I think that we know that nature is so healing to people, and getting outside, as much as it can feel silly sometimes to be like the cure-all, it really does help.
Plants can still be adopted by visiting in person or emailing the Elon Community Garden. Well, that's all the news we have for you this evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Head over to our website, elonnewsnetwork.com, for stories, sports, and more.
And make sure to follow us on social media at Elon News Network.
And don't forget to check out ENN Radio on Spotify.
Have a great night, Elon.